everything, and the one I don't see now, I was seeing him for 12 years, and what really got my nerves and everything, because he booked me for an appointment and everything for this time, and I had to wait 2 hours to get my appointment, like every time I go there for the past 12 years. And now I got.
I'm sorry, can I stop you there?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen it only once was enough, you know, you be like, pull your hair out.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a new doctor, thank God. I mean, she's been so good to me. Like, I mean, yeah, she was like 10 minutes behind, but she I understand that. That was no problem. And then she set an appointment for therapy and everything. And I go to therapy like once a month and everything. She really inspired me. And then I meditate like every night before I go to sleep, like about 10 or 15 minutes and everything. And then I wake up totally refreshed. And I love to work out and everything. Like, working out takes all my anxiety, takes my mind off things. Or I go there whenever I'm angry or upset. And the thing is, like, I even got this quote and everything from Sylvester Stallone. That keeps me motivated all the time. The quote is, "It ain't about how hard you hit.
I love that quote.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward." And people are saying, and I'm like to people, if you know what you're worth, then go on and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits. Not literally, but not literally, but you gotta like keep doing it if you really want it. But the thing is, I've been trying to get healthy almost every single day. I try to get to the gym at least twice a week. I work out today I did like almost a 3-hour workout. I would never thought I did that because I don't usually work out that time. But I feel like I go to therapy. I beautify myself, and I get a lot of confidence from my doctors in therapy, and I get a lot of confidence from the doctors from my gym class. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm not totally there yet, but when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel totally happy and confident with myself.
Awesome.
That's
Beautiful.
good. Okay, I'll take one more question. Yes, Aunt Janet?
Brett, growing up with autism, in your lifetime, you've had many challenges. What is one of the hardest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome it?
I think socializing was the challenging, because when I didn't socialize, like for Thanksgiving, for example, I didn't socialize. I just watched TV in my grandfather's room.
Okay.
I did not socialize at all. But I think going to Pine Bush really helped me with that. And I think that was the best move I ever made in my life.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Did you not socialize because you didn't know anybody, or did you decided to sit by yourself?
That's some part of it, but I just didn't know how to socialize at the time.
I have one more. I'm sorry.
One more.
I know you said one.
Yeah.
Pine Bush, the school district. How did you feel that it supported you when you went to the school district?
Because I knew most of the people there, because my dad used to run this soccer program called the Walk Hill Fire Soccer Club, and most of them were part of the soccer program.
Are you aware now that Pine Bush has continued your legacy and has a building dedicated for kids under the spectrum? With heading now with the 4th classroom now, and which is very inspiring. If you guys don't mind, it's kind of backwards.
Go ahead.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
What's your name?
Louise Abramson.
Nice to meet you.
I have a son that's autistic. He's 5, and my journey with my son started with early intervention. I noticed that in Warwick, where I live, we could not find a speech therapist for almost an entire year, even though we started at age 1.5. Now, my son was fighting all his life, because when he was born, he was CPR'd 5 times.
Was he a fighter all the time?
Yeah, I mean, he was a child that started showing the signs early on. We took him to a Head Start, like most parents do, to give him a little head start. And we noticed that at that Head Start, he had a lot of transitions, and he could not cope with the transitions. So then we took him to a center that had no transitions, right? One. And as we started getting the therapies in and the OTs and all that good stuff in, we started hitting the wall where we could not find speech. And then we ended up getting 2 months of retroactive, and then by very good luck, we found an OT that had been doing this for 20 years and referred us to Center Spectrum. It was not on the list of the school. I didn't even get the list. So when we did the IMP, I immediately had already gone to see the center up in Ellenville. And the extraordinary thing is they started working out of a basement in a church. To this date, they do now yoga. They do OT, PT, speech 4 times. Even though you have the one-on-one, there is a peer system where they have another child. If he's higher in the vocal speech, he helps his peer because he finds the voice of that peer. They are so innovative that this year at their Kingston campus, they have a sensory water park. So I asked my community leaders, what would it take to get a preschool program? Because these children's journey are 5 hours a day, 2 hours going and a half, and 2 hours returning at age 3. This has been a plight in Orange County for quite some time. A plight that has gone unanswered by our community elected leaders. And 2 years ago, I did approach our current candidate with this issue because I was experiencing it at the tune of my pocket, traveling 5 days a week to take a child that had both autism and a GI issue, which could not stand the bus ride. So, I did bring a $1 billion company here with a $90 million pharmaceutical. We did have her meeting, and unfortunately, they did not have the state license. But I did learn something in my journey, that there is some sort of hypocrisy where they're not somehow as welcome as they should be to other players that could provide programs that are designed for autism. And early intervention is, without a key, one of the best things that can happen to our community. When my son went to Center Spectrum, he went with 3 words. He had a regression, and now he's highly verbal. He has other issues, but now he can communicate.
That's good.
And he can
Awesome.
have basic living skills that some people take for granted. And I've even asked the Ellenville Police Chief to come and train the Warwick Police Department. It is much needed because they need training. And many little towns here in the county need training. I have my own encounters where they come to my driveway mistakenly and are not aware that I have an autistic child that does like to run off, that my wife and me have to keep all eyes on our child. He is very young, so he does not know difference about danger. And some of these individuals mean great, they do a fantastic job, and I'm very proud of them. As a former law enforcement myself, I know that it's a tough job. But the fact that they're not giving tools to be able to understand and have sensitized and work with this community is by far, I think, the most outrageous and egregious thing that I've ever seen. even when they have other chiefs that are willing to give it for free. So I commend you for coming here and commend you for being able to do everything that you've done. I'm very happy with our school superintendent, which has now looked at how much this really does mean. And for the first time, we have as I return, we have now a kindergarten group that is a total new class design with many aids, and we're gonna have a sensory hallway for the kids. We have placed a fence to protect them. As parents, I urge you to understand that your vote counts, and that you should vote for individuals that are working for you, and that have the door open to listen to everything that you have to say. Because the most hurtful thing was that when I asked for help for my son,
You
2
didn't
years
get it.
later, I heard nothing. And I even found individuals out of the state that were willing, and out of the county, they were willing to help. So the fact of the matter is that when you go out there, no matter what year it is, you make sure that all your candidates that you vote for stand to help your children and help you, because this is an outrage that you go to Dutchess County and they're progressing with Think Differently, and we are still miles behind. And so I'm glad that all of you are here, and I hope that you have greater attendance. I invite you to the Warwick Library. I'm pretty sure that it's very accepting. We have a sensory for kids there as well. Because there are little pockets in Orange County that are changing, and they're becoming aware, and they're starting to think differently, as they should. Because I was,
We're trying to see how far they can come by overseeing who's available, who's not available. what's
Absolutely.
ahead, What's behind you, what to look forward to.
absolutely, because I was at the point, like many other parents, to just move out. And thank you for giving me a small platform, and thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
You know, I guess we can, go ahead.
I have a question. Your name again?
Louis Abrams.
Luis. I noticed you mentioned something about police, how police or any type of local law enforcement will, how to respond to someone with autism.
Mhm.
A friend of mine, who had worked with me, because I'm a school bus driver
Mhm.
right now,
Mhm.
and I'm on the spectrum like Brett,
Mhm.
and high functioning, the whole 9 yards. But
Mhm.
New York State had recently done, and I have it right here, and you can apply online. It's a New York State.
It was the ID card,
Yeah,
right?
the ID card.
Right.
So, that's something to think about for your son as well, in case
Yes.
a situation were to occur.
Yes, we have signed them up for it already. We're still waiting for the ID
Yeah.
card, but we have signed them up.
Okay.
And I think that's a good point, because I think I'm part of an advocacy group as well
Yes.
for case management, and I know of many parents that do not know about that ID card, even though it started in 2018. Am I right? Somewhere around that
Probably.
point?
Yeah, I didn't know
Probably.
that either at first.
Yeah, and
It's a good
and
thing that they
it's a
did that.
good tool that
Yeah.
should be promoted on all the websites of our county, so that more people are more aware of where they need to click in
I
in order
service-
to put that in.
Right, because I service for people with special needs as a school bus driver,
Mhm.
and
It's challenging, right?
it can be challenging, and I can
Mhm.
be a source of, to someone to look up to and say, hey, because if I may share, 2 years ago,
Mhm.
Temple, in this county, we had the privilege to have Temple Grandin,
Yes.
the autistic advocate,
Right.
who has a doctorate degree.
And she's a professor at a university in
Yeah,
Colorado,
for,
Mhm.
I believe in
animal
agriculture.
science.
In St. Mary College, right?
Right.
It's
but
in Colorado.
She was we had the opportunity to have her at dinner, and she had a lot of great points. If she ever came back, I highly recommend all of you to come out to see this person. The amazing things that she could do, and probably the official voice of autism. And she said that you wanna like put yourself, your name, and what you do first before jumping the gun and say I have autism. And I know it's hard, it's an easy habit to get into, but really it's something to reflect upon what
Absolutely.
you can do. And Brett and I and others that we know can relate. You know,
There's very small things you can do. Donna Hamburg, I believe, has invented little signs.
Yeah.
We can put stickers on individuals with autism on the side of their home door. It doesn't have to be in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Things that will allow a first responder to know who is living there. You know, and these, they might be small, but every bit helps. Ohio has a program called PATCH, Patient Assistant Program. The parents log into their IT network at the hospital, and then when the patient comes in, the entire hospital knows just by looking at their computer or their iPad, which is through Epic. They already know, like okay, what to expect and everything. Because even for the younger ones, which is a little more difficult, because they have less skills at that time.
Yeah.
You know, I have my own challenge for Orange Regional, and they were very understanding, and they had the patient liaison come down, pre-register my son, bring them into one room, bring all the machines into one room, get a behavioral BCBA. They worked with my son while my son was getting a sonogram. Everybody was happy, and my son had less sensory stress. And I told the CEO, this is the movement. Why? Because the first time around we were turned away. So, and why? Why should we have our children go to Westchester or NYU
Or
to
somewhere
get
far away.
something that they can get locally right here?
right, something they're not familiar with that's going to throw.
Yes.
You know,
Because basically, I learned from a staff that I had one time with me and mine, knows Aline Gunther, and she had to bring a person all the way over to Poughkeepsie, which was ridiculous, when they could have more treatment over here, basically. If someone's with cerebral palsy or someone's with things, they shouldn't go all the way over to Poughkeepsie when they have very standard treatment at Orange Regional or St. Andrews. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's like turning business away. It doesn't even make sense.
It
You know,
doesn't-
you know. So, thank you again, and I'm gonna let you continue.
I believe that,
Yeah.
thing, but I think,
Thank you everyone for coming.
I recommend parents also staying here because I think it's important to